Hello, everyone. Welcome to Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Thank you for joining us today. If you like the stuff that we put out, if you like, you subscribe. Okay, today we're going to be talking about Biden said something yesterday, kind of bizarre. He made the following claim while accepting the formal presidential endorsement of the Kennedy family, minus RFK Jr., right?
Yeah.
He said, quote, "Are you ready to choose unity over division, dignity over demolition, truth over lies? Are you ready to choose freedom over democracy? Because that's America." What?
Right. They're always talking about how
What?
Trump is tearing down the democracy. So why are we choosing freedom over
Democracy?
I don't know. I think they kind of go hand in hand, but at least that's the way I hope for it. So anyway,
Okay. So before we unpack the statement, let's ask ourselves, why is the Kennedy family not backing RFK Jr.?
Yeah.
All right, that's the obvious. Because he had the whole family behind him, right? RFK's own sister, Carrie Kennedy, spoke at the event. His sister!
yeah,
Saying, quote, "President Biden has been a champion for all rights and freedoms that my father and uncles stood for."
yeah. Well, man, it's kind of a lonely Thanksgiving dinner at that family. What a shame. What's the deal? Well, maybe they can all get along, and then they just don't believe the same politics. So.
Well, he's a champion for rights and freedoms except energy independence, right?
Right.
Except the Second Amendment right to bear arms, right?
Yep. And
Right.
and the right for Israel to kick the crap out of Iran. You know?
Yep.
Come on.
The right to life for unborn babies, free speech without censorship, a secure border for others but not for the U.S., only women competing in women's sports, and the deteriorating cost of living? That's what he's a champion of all rights? Or maybe she meant clean energy.
Are we not thinking right here, or all those things right there that you just talked about, are those all common sense values, right?
Yeah.
Those are values that everybody, whether you vote right or left, blue or red,
We think they are, but
they should be common
But
sense.
it's like voting rights and voting suppression. You know, there's a flip side to it. So I'm got the flip side here. Maybe she meant clean energy instead of war on energy. Maybe she meant gun control instead of right to bear arms. Maybe she meant women's reproductive rights instead of, the abortion ritual instead of babies' life, the right for babies to live, or curtailing misinformation or disinformation, right? Instead of censorship, allowing non-birthing people to become women, right? And the cost of living coming down. I don't think the cost of living is coming down.
It ain't happening. I question the Kennedy family, and again, I'm not
Royalty.
I'm not picking on any religious beliefs or anything, but I believe that family is predominantly Catholic.
Yes.
And I believe that most of them are staunch practicing Catholics.
Yes, and Democrats.
The Catholic Church is pretty adamant about their view on abortion.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, even contraception.
Yeah, so
they do the rhythm method.
I don't get that. Where Biden is allowed to go the other direction, but I know he's gotten into a little bit of trouble with
Biden
the church
gets a
about
lot of
that,
passes. He gets a lot of passes.
He does,
right?
yeah, or he just ignores it.
So what kind of a family abandons their own flesh and blood? I'm serious. Yeah, all backed up behind them. Why is they know something we don't know, or do they not want him to get assassinated?
I would hope that wouldn't be the case. I mean, this is a different
To
time.
save his life, they're backing someone else.
Yeah.
JFK assassinated,
if that's the
RFK
case,
assassinated.
If that's the case, come out and say it. But I just think this is a different time. I don't think that.
Yeah, but why would your blood turn against you?
Oh, yeah, that I don't know. Well, I mean, again,
just to save your life, I understand.
I got a sister that's definitely, we do not agree on anything political at all. But
she's like my sister, Bev. She watches The View.
I don't know if she watches The View or not,
okay.
but she's definitely, she's left leaning, which it's all good. I love her. I think she loves me, as far as I know.
She's my cousin too. She's my cousin too.
Exactly. So, I think we can have our differences in politics, but why? I mean, you would think that they'd come out and say, "Hey, we're backing up this guy because he's my brother or my nephew or my cousin or whatever," and just say, "But we just don't believe in his political beliefs."
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he's more in line with his dad
Yeah.
and his uncle,
Yeah.
right? At least John, maybe
Yeah.
not Ted, but John or
Yeah.
Edward, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
John and Robert, I think, were more in line with him right now
Yeah.
than the current Democratic Party
Yeah,
of
it's,
today.
it's lurched way to the left. Okay,
Yeah.
what ifs?
Yeah.
Let's now unpack this statement, freedom over democracy, okay? Let's unpack it. Freedom, listen carefully. Freedom is the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action. Does that sound right to you? Do
Sure.
whatever you want. Freedom.
Well, yeah, within reason. I mean, can't blow through a stop sign. You can't, yell
Oh, that's
fire.
where democracy comes in.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we got to have
It's-
some rules. But yeah, that I agree with that.
It's the power or right to act, speak, and change as one wants without hindrance. That's freedom, right? Democracy, on the other hand, is controlling, not freedom, controlling a system of government by a majority of the population, typically eligible members, right, through elected representatives. Democracy, right? You elect them, and they speak for you. So with this thought process, freedom over democracy, one should be able to attack a federal building in Portland, Oregon, without consequences. That's freedom, right?
Well, it happened.
It did happen. While democracy, on the other hand, creates laws to prevent violence against federal buildings, right? You see that?
Yes.
Right? Or burn down buildings in a mostly peaceful protest. That's freedom, right?
Yeah, nothing peaceful about that.
Where was the freedom at the Capitol on January 6th? Where was that freedom?
Right.
Oh, freedom for me, not for thee. Okay. How is Trump a threat to democracy, but not a threat to freedom? Seems like the other way around. He's a law and order kind of guy, right?
He is. Yeah. He's
Usually
got backing right now of most, if not all, the law enforcement agencies in the country.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, within reason, your freedom ends where mine begins. Right? I mean, because right now you could stab me to death. You got free choice, right? Agency, right? But that would end my life.
And I'm going to pay a consequence for that.
That would end my life. So it stops, where mine starts,
Yeah.
It's like doing to others, Okay, so remember when Biden stated, quote, "We choose truth over facts" while campaigning in Iowa in 2019? Remember that?
Yeah,
that was
one,
famous, man.
And I think that blew by a lot of people, but I'm thinking that was another head scratcher, just like this democracy. And
I'm unpacking
freedom.
that too. Here we go.
Yeah.
Well, facts are set realities that cannot change, despite an enormous amount of reasoning. You can talk blue in the face, but facts don't change. Facts are not discovered. Facts are created. Right? You create a fact.
Okay.
Right? Truth is opposite of facts. Truths may be acknowledged, but they must be discovered and can vary from person to person. One person may believe strongly that the earth is flat. That's their truth. While another person may believe strongly that the earth is spherical or round. That's their truth. Each person believes their truth no matter the reasoning. So how do we put freedom over democracy? How do we put truth over facts? It's like backwards.
It's just spewing.
Crazy talk.
It's just spewing whatever he wants to spew. And right now, I think we've heard enough and seen enough to where this guy he's a little on the.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous, and he's challenged. He's a challenged guy right now. So
I would say that he triggered me by saying that. I mean, that's what I would say. He triggered me. I'm triggered right now.
I'm just going to use the L word. He's a liar. He tells lies.
Yeah.
And whether it's
whether it's his uncle being eaten by Aborigines or his son dying in Iraq.
Yeah, or he rode across the Francis Scott Key Bridge in a train, which has never happened. I mean,
There's
I don't
no
know.
trains on that bridge.
Exactly. So and again, I get it, but that's almost getting back to the challenge.
That's
part.
a truth over facts. Okay.
I guess so.
That's a truth over facts.
I guess so. Maybe he
Okay.
felt like he was on the crazy train. You know?
So it does not make sense unless you're trying to make the senseless seem normal. How about that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so the account for outlet, the Conservative Brief, posted about this gaffe, right? And I'm going to tell you because it's pretty cool. Stating, quote, when people are concerned about Ronald Reagan having cognitive decline near the end of his second term, it was nothing like this. When Dan Quayle couldn't spell potato correctly, people lost their minds.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
But it was nothing like this. When George W. Bush was in the Oval Office and people said Dick Cheney was running the country because Bush couldn't, it was nothing like this.
Right.
Look in the mirror. I'm talking to you. Look in the mirror and ask yourself truthfully, is this the man you want in charge of our security, our economy, and our country for another 4 years?
If you're asking me, I say, I don't know how we survive.
I don't know either.
Because it's
I don't know
if it's
either.
another 4 years, again, what we talked about the other day, between now and November or January, it's going to get crazy.
Yeah.
Because if it looks like Donald Trump is going to maybe win back the presidency, and that the polls that I've heard as today, it looks like that could happen unless something
If Trump
really
wins,
crazy.
powder keg.
Yeah.
And if Biden wins, not quite a powder keg, but
other countries, I think, are going to just take advantage of it.
yeah, but I think there'll be an uprising too, not like J6. And people are going to cover their faces now, so they can't be identified and prosecuted for mostly peaceful protesting,
Right.
for expressing their freedom and their truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And heaven forbid, like cyber stuff and all that, those kind of attacks will, I don't know. It just, I don't want to live through that part. I mean,
we're weak in the world's eyes. We're feckless.
We are.
And stuff is blowing up.
Yes.
Regional crises are just conflating.
Right. No, I know it's a scary time. Scary time.
All right, folks, we appreciate you joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good day. Thank you.